Hi guys, my name is Adrian Reyes, and today I want to walk you through some of the steps that we took to help a B2B firm, TruckSwap, reduce their sales cycle from 6 weeks to 7 days, and how we helped increase their winning rate from 20 to 70%. Now, before I get started, it's important to remind you that even though TruckSwap operates in a very specific industry, what I'm going to share with you is a sales framework, okay? Um, Marketing fundamentals are basically universal and they work in practically any B2B industry, okay? So don't get distracted by the fact that they may operate in a very specific industry to apply what I'm sharing to your own context, okay? So let's get started. TruckSwap is a B2B software firm in Canada that specializes in replacing outdated legacy systems with modern technology. And they operate a very skeptical industry, an industry that's very skeptical towards new technology. Okay, so that made the sales process a lot more difficult. Now, before they worked with us, they had this problem where they had a very inconsistent and ineffective sales process because the sales interactions followed one of two patterns. The first one is that after some discovery, prospects would ask for a proposal, and the founder of TruckSwap sent this proposal over email, but he would never hear back again. Okay, so people would basically ghost him. The second pattern would be that at the end of discovery calls, prospects would agree to have demo call and ask the founder of TruckSwap to propose signs over email, right? But he would never hear back. So those are two quite common problems in the B2B space, and that's basically what caused the sales cycle to be so long. Now, how do we solve this problem? Well, in terms of how they had this problem where prospects would agree to have a second call, a demo call, but then they would ghost, right? He would try to propose new times over email, but that would never work. So what we did to solve that very specific problem is we would book the second call from the first call. So while we were taking the discovery call, towards the end of it, we would book the second one, okay? So when we were done with discovery, we would just ask the prospect, okay, what time works for you for another meeting? What time works for you next week or this week or whatever? So that is way more effective than trying to schedule another meeting for email, because people can sometimes can take hours or even days to get back to your email. So it's a mess. It's a lot way more effective to simply book the call from the first call. Now, in regards to their sales cycle and their winning rate, what we did is we introduced sales letters to the sales process. Now, before I get into that, it's a very important marketing fundamental that you need to understand, and that is what we call market sophistication levels. So in marketing, the way that you position your product, the way you try to sell your product, must be in alignment with how sophisticated your marketing is. If there is not an alignment in that area, if there's not alignment on how you position the product and how sophisticated the market is, then you will simply not get many customers. At least you will not sell as much as you would like to. Okay, because there's this misalignment. So I'm gonna explain to you what the 5 levels are and how you need to adapt to each level. So in the first level, you're the first one to introduce a product, okay? And in that case, you can get away with a very straightforward claim, such as, hey, try out this pill to lose weight, okay? So here we're talking about a scenario like weight loss. Of course, the weight loss market is not any longer in this level of sophistication because it's been, I don't know, like 100 years. But that's how it got started. Okay, so there's basically no competition. You're the first person to introduce a weight loss product. Now, at the second level, you have competition. Okay, so you have now other businesses that are helping people lose weight. So you need to make a bigger claim, like, hey, lose 10 pounds in 7 days. In the third level, there's more competition, so people get skeptical. So you need to explain how the product is different. So what you do is you highlight a very specific feature that makes your product unique. So something along the lines of, hey, a weight loss pill uses unique formula to burn fat faster. Or, we have this, very specific ingredient that helps with XOC, whatever. In the fourth level, your competition has happened to develop very unique features. So what you need to do is you need to do it better and basically have better features than that. Okay, do it better, cheaper, faster, whatever. In the fifth level, the final level, the market is already saturated. People are tired of product marketing claims, and it's very hard to get somebody to buy anything. Okay, so if you have a product, right, and you're trying to sell to a very saturated market, and you're using claims that somebody in the first level of sophistication would use, there's a misalignment. And this happens very often. Like, just to give an example, you will see, I don't know, you will see, how can I give an example? You will see somebody that's trying to sell, let's say, they're trying to sell some kind of technology to hospitals that can help increase revenue or whatever. And the way that they will try to position their product is, hey, increase revenue. Okay, increased revenue is a claim that you can use if you're in this level of sophistication, but not if you're here, because by this point that kind of claim already got saturated, right? So you need to be different. Okay, so when you're in this level of sophistication, typically what you do is, instead of trying to sell to a very specific market, to an entire industry, what you do is you try to sell to a very specific subset of people within that industry. So in the context of weight loss, instead of trying to simply sell weight loss pill to everybody, what you do is you sell to, let's say, women in their 30s who just give birth, whatever. Okay, so you try to create very specific messaging and offers for that specific group of people, because it's going to resonate more. It's going to help you connect emotionally. Okay, so once you understand this, what you want to do is you want to write a sales letter. Okay, now Adrian, what is a sales letter? Well, custom sales letters basically documents that walk the prospect on how they can go from point A to point B. Okay, and it basically positions your product as a bridge between their current state and their desired state. This asset helped us it helped us reduce truck swaps, so cycle from 6 to 12 weeks, 7 days, and increase our winning rate from 20 to 70%. Okay, so what you do is, well, let's choose scenarios here. In the first scenario, you're trying to sell a technology to a very skeptical industry. Maybe your technology is kind of like new, it's never been seen before, all right? And basically, it could happen that you try to approach people, you try to approach customers, but they don't really understand what you do because it's quite new to them. Okay? So in that case, here's how you write your sales letter. Okay? Let me give you an example. Let's say the example of coffee to maybe make it simpler to understand. So you're selling a technology, okay, that's never been seen before. Okay, so if you just try to pitch it without first giving context on why people should adopt it, people are just going to ignore you. So you first write a sales letter where you introduce the problem that you solve. Then you prove what's the problem. You prove what this problem is causing the market and what they stand to gain by solving this problem. Okay, so only once the market is aware that they have a big problem, only then they're gonna admit that they need to start looking for solutions. So once you do that, you introduce your solution, right? You introduce whatever you're selling as a solution to these problems that you mentioned over here. Okay, you explain what you stand to gain, what the market stands to gain. You explain what makes it different and how it works. Okay, because again, if you start by introducing the product and what it does, then people are going to be like, okay, but this is quite new to me, I don't understand, what do you exactly do? But if you first introduce the problem, why is a problem, and the cost of not solving the problem, and then you introduce a solution, then people are gonna be in a situation where they have no other option but to uh, adopt your solution. Because if they don't, then they're gonna keep to have this problem that you mentioned. Okay, and their business is gonna suffer. Okay? This is why knowing exactly what kind of sophistication levels you're dealing with is so important. Okay? This works, and this is a must if you're selling new technology to a very skeptical industry. Okay? If you're selling new technology to maybe replace legacy systems or whatever. Because these people have been doing things in a certain way for so many years. So if you just try to kind of change their ways without giving them context on why they should do it, they're going to ignore you. So in that case, you first introduce a problem. Okay, what problems are being caused by them not pivoting away from the legacy systems? Okay, they first need to understand why they need to replace. They first need to understand the negative consequences of using their legacy systems. Only once you understand that, okay, they will be in a position where they are going to be willing to adopt your new technology. Okay? Now, in the second scenario, okay, let's say that you're selling some technology, but I mean it's quite cool, but you have some competition, and the market has kind of like seen it before. So in that case, the market is saturated. People are tired of product claims, and you need to explain exactly what makes you different, and you need to try to connect emotionally with people. So how do you write a sales letter in that case? Well, so what you do is, in the context of coffee, for example, let's say that you introduce like, hey, the market is quite saturated, and you're dealing with these problems. So uh, these are basically your different solutions to solve the problem. Okay, so you introduce your solutions and you explain the limitations. Okay? Once you explain the limitations, you explain that the reason why it didn't work out is because they lack a certain USP. That USP is the same USP that your product has. So you explain the significance of this USP and how it meets the ingredient that they need to get whatever they want. And then basically you showcase of how that USP actually works. You share success stories, right? Then basically you introduce your solution and so on. But notice how this is very different to this over here, because in this level of sophistication, you're first introducing a problem and you're trying to get people to come to the conclusion on their own that they have a problem and need to solve it ASAP. But in this case, okay, like you're acknowledging that the market is saturated, you have lots of competition, so you basically just introduce the different solutions that they have to solve the problem, and then you discuss the limitations, and then you position your product as the missing ingredient that they need to solve the problems. So can you see how critical it is to understand how sophisticated your market is? Like if you don't get this wrong, your market is going to be wrong. You're gonna waste your money. You're gonna waste your time. So this is critical to understand. Okay. So once you do this, people have a very clear idea of how you could specifically solve their problems, because you're showing them like step by step exactly everything that you're going to do to solve the problems. So it's not like some generic demo where people show you some generic features that you don't care about and then they try to close you. No, you're actually giving them like a document that outlines specifically how you're going to help them out. Okay. Now, that's not what we did for TruckSwap. I have an interview with that client on my YouTube if you want to check it out. Okay. So TruckSwap is now in a very good position where they have a proven sales process. They know that they can close most of the leads that they get. So they're in a very good position to scale up, because it's just a matter of getting more traffic at top of funnel for them. Okay, so again, if you have any problems where your sales cycle is on, you're selling some new technology, but people are not, they don't really understand what you do, or they don't understand why they should adopt your solution, or you're still in a saturated market and you struggle to basically get people to understand why your price is different and why they should buy it, then you're going to 100% benefit from this video that I created for you. Okay, so that's it, and yeah, have a good day.